Hey everyone, welcome back to IoT Frontier. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up smart water level monitoring and LED control system using ESP32 and MQTT. But here is the cool part. We'll be using FlowFuse, a cloud hosted instance of Node-RED. FlowFuse makes it easy to manage and deploy Node-RED flows in the cloud without having to set up and maintain your own server. This means you can monitor real-time sensor data from anywhere, control devices remotely using MQTT, build complex automations and dashboards all from the cloud. Let's look into the flow diagram of the project. So on the left side, you can see water level sensor is connected to ESP32 as well as will be using inbuilt LED, and this water level sensor data is sent to Node-RED using MQTT, and that is hosted on FlowFuse. And then the values of water level sensor are displayed on a dashboard. And in the same way, we are going to control the LED from the dashboard where we'll be having some buttons, and using those buttons we can turn on and turn off the LED using MQTT messages. How cool is that? So without further delay, grab your ESP32 and let's get started. First, we'll need to look into hardware components that are required. So we need ESP32, water level sensor, jumper wires and breadboard. Now we can set up a FlowFuse account. So first search for FlowFuse and here click on the first link and you can click on free trial. So here try to give the username and then you can check these boxes and accept the terms and condition and sign up. So next it will send a code to your email. So you can enter this and then continue. So here you need to take care while selecting this. So you need to select this 14 days free trial so that you will get 5 hosted or remote instances. So these hosted instances are very important wherein you can work with the Node-RED. If you select free, then you will not be having the hosted instances. So select this and give any team name. I can give IoT Frontier and then start free trial. Now you can see under applications the hosted instance is available. So you can click on this and then it is trying to start the hosted instance. If you see other status, you can also get into the action and click on start. So in the meanwhile, we have to create some of the clients. So because if you see here, ESP32 is going to be acting as a client, and Node-RED, even though it is having FlowFuse will be having a broker, the Node-RED inside the code will be acting as a broker to send the messages to control the LED. And then ESP also needs client so that it can send the messages of water level sensor to the Node-RED dashboard. That's why we need 2 MQTT clients. So you can go back to the broker and select this FlowFuse broker and create a client. So here you need to give the username. So I'll be using ESP32 as first one and the password also ESP32 and then confirm. Now you have created one client. So another should be Node-RED. Now we have 2 clients. So we need to copy these names into a notepad. This will be useful in later stages. So I have copied 2. Now we can go back to the application and inside this instance you can see the status it is running. So you can click on this editor so that the Node-RED editor will be opened. Voila! You can see the Node-RED hosted by FlowFuse on the cloud which is running. And now we have to create a flow. So to create a flow, first we need to talk about MQTT out nodes. So first we want to control the LED, right? So we want to send the messages to the ESP32 from the dashboard. That's why I have taken MQTT out. To trigger the values of on and off to LED, we also need buttons, right? So we need to install the palette of Node-RED dashboard. So go to the settings here and click on manage palette and go to install and type FlowFuse Node-RED dashboard. So the first one you can select and install it. It may take a couple of minutes. In the meanwhile, you can close this and then configure the MQTT. So double click on this, click on plus, and in the server you need to enter broker.flowfuse.cloud, and here in the client ID, whatever you have copied previously, now I'm going to use Node-RED client here. So paste this Node-RED client, and in the security as well, the username should be same client name and then the password that you have selected, and then add it. So in the topic you need to write IoT Frontier / LED control. This is case sensitive and it should be whatever you have written in the code that should be available here. Once you have done this, click on done and then click on deploy. So now we can see the palette installation is complete and we can see dashboard 2 is added. So from here you can take a button. So this is a button, drag and drop 2 buttons and click on the first button. The button name is on. We can send the payload as 1 and the background color we can keep as green. Click on done. Same way, click on another button, select the group which is created previously and the name should be off, payload should be 2 and background color should be red. Click on done. Now you can make the connections and deploy. After deploying, you can see the MQTT broker is connected. If this is not connected, then the client ID, password and the server are to be corrected. So after this, if you want to check how these buttons are visible, so you can go back to this button and click on dashboard 2.0 and here you can see open dashboard. So this is how this looks. Next, we also will try to add MQTT in so that we'll get the values of water level sensor from the ESP32 and display them on the dashboard using gauge. So from the dashboard menu, you can drag and drop the gauge and connect them. First, you need to configure this MQTT broker. We have already same broker and the topic should be IoT Frontier / water level and click on done. And the gauge, you again select the page or group that is already created and the values of the range we can give. So the water level sensors value will be 0 to 400 roughly. So I can give even the segmentation that if it is between 150, the color will be like this, and if it is 150 to 400, then this is going to be in this color. So the name you can give water levels and click on done. Now deploy this. So you can also see the MQTT server for this is connected, and you can go back to the page and find how it is looking here. And now if you want to adjust this, that I'll be showing later. Now let's get into the Arduino IDE. So you need to open Arduino IDE. So this link will be provided in the description below. So you can copy this code and just modify the SSID of yours, of your Wi-Fi, then password and then clients, etc. So then paste it on the Arduino IDE. So here you can see the SSID of mine and password is provided, and the MQTT client I need to modify accordingly what we have created recently. So MQTT client ID and username should be pasted whatever we have created previously, and the password and the topics of water level and as well as LED. So here I am using a PubSub client. So you also need to install a library by clicking here, and that library name is called ESP MQTT client by Patrick Lapointe, and then I have installed it. So you can also install. Once that is done, you can continue with the code. I will just give you a brief about the code. So here we are trying to set up the Wi-Fi, and here we are listening to the callback function where all the subscribe topics messages will be here, and from there we'll see whether it is a message is 1 or 2. If it is 1, the LED will be on. If it is LED message is 2, LED will be off. Based on that, we are writing the digital write. The LED that we have taken the pin here is the LED number 2, which is the built-in LED of ESP32. And for water level sensor, the sensor pin, analog sensor pin is 36 and the sensor power is 26. So I'll show you in the pinout diagram as well in the next step. And next we have a reconnect for MQTT broker. This will connect to MQTT broker, and then we have void setup wherein we initialize all the pins and also the Wi-Fi. Next, under the loop, we have how to read the water level sensor and then publish those values to the MQTT broker. And once this is done, you can come to the point where you are trying to connect your water level sensor with the ESP32. So every ESP32 is kind of different and pinouts will be different. So my ESP32 is Node MCU 32S. So I have this kind of pinout. So what I have done is analog pin of water level sensor I have connected to GPIO 36, and then VCC pin of water level sensor is connected to 26, and the negative pin, ground pin, is connected to ground here. Now we'll have to connect our ESP32. So I have connected ESP32 using USB connector to my laptop. Once that is done, you can go back to here under the tools and find the port and select the port, and also board. You can select appropriate board under ESP32. So I have a ESP32 dev module that I have selected, and then once that is done, you can see ESP32 dev module on COM3. So you can click on upload button. Now you can see the code has been uploaded. You can also check the serial monitor. So once you reset, you can see it is trying to connect to the Wi-Fi and MQTT broker, and then water level sensor, if you properly connect, it should be 0 right now because I haven't placed it in the water. Next, we can go back to the dashboard, and in the dashboard you can click on button, and immediately you can see the blue LED, that is onboard LED, is on. And now we can even click on off. So it will turn off. Next thing that we can do is take a glass of water and place the water level sensor. inside that glass of water. You can slowly see the resistance of this water level sensor is increasing, and based on that, water level is also getting increased. So you can see it is right now around 197, 200 like that. I'll try to add more water. So now you can see after adding more water, the resistance got increased and water level is also being shown higher. Now let's try to beautify this dashboard. So you need to go back to the button and try to edit the group. So the group can say that it is ESP32 monitor and LED control. And on the page you can say FlowFuse dashboard and update and done. Same way you need to modify off and it will automatically be taking that. So we can click on done, and similarly for water level. Once you deploy, you can see you can restart this page and you can see the FlowFuse dashboard and ESP monitor, and those things are visible. Now you want to reduce the size of these buttons and also the complete tile as well. So for that you need to go back and click on this gauge. First we can go back to the group, and the group itself, the size can be mentioned as, click on update, done, deploy. Now it is looking good, and that's it. You have just built a smart water level monitoring and LED control system using ESP32 and MQTT on a FlowFuse cloud hosted Node-RED. If you found this video informative, please type helpful in the comment section below and smash that like button. In the upcoming video, I'll create an IoT dashboard using Ming stack, that is Mosquitto, Influx, Node-RED and Grafana with ESP32. I'll be using all the tools of Ming in the cloud without local installation. So subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another interesting video.